What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over everything having to do with electric bike batteries. Now this type of information is going to be able to help you be able to get the most out of your electric bike battery, but also you'll be able to translate this information from electric bikes to electric scooters to electric skateboards. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we go any further, I want to talk about today's video sponsor. This video would not be possible if it was not for Phantom Wallet sponsoring today's video, hence the name. Fans open all your cards. Really durable design. This one's the aluminum one. They also offer it in plastic. All the accessories screw on, as you see there, all these little screw holes. Right now I'm running silicone band. I usually run the money clip because it gives you a lot of color accessories. They also offer a clear plastic front for holding IDs, as well as fanning out your keys. I'll display them here on the screen. If you're interested in any of these products, especially their newest one, it's going to be coming out really soon with MagSafe technology, be able to connect it to your iPhone. Click the link in the description below. Use Fede 10 at checkout. And big shout out to Phantom Wallet for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. The battery is the heart of your electric bike and comes in all kinds of configurations depending on the manufacturer you decide to go with. Also, batteries do have a shelf life, and if properly taken care of, they can last over 1,000 cycles. Now, electric bikes come in just as many styles as a standard bike. You can actually turn a standard bike into an electric bike with an e-bike kit you can find on Amazon or an online bike store or your local bike shop. Now, a cycle is a full battery charge, whether you're charging from 50% up to 100% or 80% up to 100% or even as low as 10% up to 100%. One whole cycle to that 100% is considered a cycle. Now, this will also be predicated depending on the battery manufacturer. Now, when riding your e-bike, you want to deplete the battery as much as possible on each ride because you want to get a full cycle out of that battery as many times as you possibly can. Not all bike manufacturers have smart technology built into the batteries where you can control it in an app, but a lot of manufacturers do. And if you do, you want to charge that battery up to 80% per ride. That way you're getting the most out of that battery and you're not really getting as much battery degradation over time. So in order for you to be able to stretch through that 1,000 cycles or even beyond that, it all depends on how well you take care of it and where you store your battery. You want to be mindful of where you store your battery or your bike if the battery is within the frame. Weather elements and how much the battery is exposed to those weather elements repeatedly will also play a big factor in your health as well. But again, it all depends on the battery brand. One of the most common questions is, will my battery just up and die, up and just stop working one day? And the answer to that is no, unless it's a defect. And if it is, then you contact your manufacturer to see if they'll replace it. So let's just say your battery was rated for 45 miles, 55 miles. Over time, it'll deplete down and probably have 35 miles for a longer period of time. And then little by little, it'll trickle to be less and less. So like I said, battery degradation, and you want to be able to charge it up to that 80%. And if you have an app for that, if your battery isn't capable of doing it, there's a couple apps out there. I'll put them in the description below. That way you can keep track of basically your battery health through its process. Another common question is, what's inside the battery pack? What are they made of? Well, e-bike batteries are a lot like what you already use in common household items. They actually look pretty similar, but have a bit more tech behind it and a battery management system to help control it. The system will actually make sure that all the batteries are not going to overheat, and it will also make sure that you will get the most efficiency out of that battery pack. A lot of battery packs out there are made of really rugged plastic or even aluminum casing to help protect the cells from any damage in case of impact. Now, batteries have commonly two different connections and sometimes three. One of the connections is to get power from the battery to the motors on the bike. The other one is to get power from your electrical socket into the battery for charging, and some of them come with a USB port to help charge your phone or any other devices on the go. Now, over the years, batteries went from lead to nickel to lithium, and lithium is what you most commonly see on pretty much every device that you have. You'll find most of your devices that you use every day, from iPhones to laptops to iPads to headphones to drills to lawnmowers to cars and so on, are all using lithium batteries. And that's because the amount of charge cycles it can go through over time. And at the end of the day, charge cycles are what matters most. Now, you could go the cheaper route and getting a lead-based battery. It's also going to be way bigger and heavier. If you go nickel, it's going to be a bit heavier as well. And lithium is the lightest option with the most cells in one area. So we've gone pretty far into the future as far as I'm concerned, as far as battery tech. Now, speaking of battery tech, another question I always get is, how do I convert watts into range? Now, watt hours is a measure of energy in a battery pack, so you know what to expect out of your electric bike in terms of range. In order to calculate the watt hours of a battery pack, just multiply the voltage by the amp hours of the battery pack. So let's just say you have a 36 volt, 10 amp hour battery pack. That's 360 watt hours. You multiply 36 by 10 equals 360. Now, riding normal with your energy usage, each mile you travel will cost you about 20 watt hours, and in a 360 watt hour pack, it'll probably get you about 18 miles. Now, that range can vary depending on your riding style, where you're going, the terrain, just all different types of factors. So take that with a grain of salt because, like I said, depending on your body weight, where you're riding, if you're using all throttle, pedal assist, all that can kind of vary with that whole term. So with that being said, if you're not running a 36 volt, I've also done the math already for some other common voltages out there. So the other common options that are out there, if you're trying to have a quick understanding for your volt to amp hour into range, are up on the screen right now, from 36 volt to 48 volt. So now you want to replace your battery or add one to your arsenal or add another one to your bike to be able to add more range to your rides. Those prices can vary. Those prices can vary from $30 all the way up to $1,000 depending on the bike and what the battery entails. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If you're looking for any batteries out there, try to buy accordingly to your bike, but also buy higher voltage. Now, I hope this video was able to give you a better understanding of e-bike batteries. This is basic info. It can get way more in depth, way more intricate, depending on if you get really high-end bikes out there. So if you guys have any other questions, put them below. I also want to know what you guys are riding. Or if you're in the market for an electric bike, electric skateboard, or electric scooter, I have a whole playlist on that, which will play in the end card after this video. So if you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.